Do you think the problems that you've got in your marriage that are intrapersonal, that are due to basic motivational differences in orientation and values, spill over into the child relationships? Do you think mom and dad sometimes see a lot differently from each other because not only of their own backgrounds, from the families they came from, but because of their basic value orientation difference? One's valuing putting out more production, and one values relationships. So I've had to swing from 100% here to a whole lot over here, because it's not so important to me anymore that that little turkey come home with straight A's and he have a 600 batting average. That's not important to me anymore as it is to establish a relationship with this child and to let him know that I love him and it's okay for him to be different and he does not have to value what I value. All right, so we've got the white. Let's look at the white, what he needs. The white needs to feel good. They need to be independent. They need to be respected. They need to be accepted. Above all, you must be kind to a white because they will get you. They will sit back and they will get you. And you'll say you think it's going just fine and they just are late or they're not there or they didn't get it done. Okay, now the yellows, what are they doing? The yellows are into fun. They need to look good. They need to be popular. They need to be noticed. They need to get approval. If you want to have a good party, invite a couple yellows. They come. They will have forgot to bring the dip, but they're here. And we are here, we two yellows. And we think we're God's gift to the world. We're wonderful. We just talk and have a wonderful time. Absolutely irresponsible. And I hate them. Okay? Because they always come out okay. I did some consulting for a business, and I was helping them with their business, and they had a red partner, blue partner, yellow partner, white partner. They were having a crisis, a cash flow crisis, and if they didn't solve this crisis, the company was going to go under. And so I talked to them, and the red is there. Oh yeah, and we came up. We made about 3 or 4 recommendations that they do certain things, and the red was saying, "We can do that. I know we can do that." And what was the blue saying? Same thing. We can get this thing going again, and I know we can get this organized, and here's the statistics, and here's this, and here's that. But what was the yellow saying? That guy, in the middle of this crisis, was sitting there during the meeting, reading a fishing magazine. Now, I resent these people, all right? Because all the rest of us were worried. We were all assuming the responsibility. And right in the middle of this thing, when we put the plan into action for 2 weeks, this guy went fishing in Mexico. He hadn't done any business for at least 2 years. But who did all the employees love? They loved this yellow sucker, okay, who was absolutely worthless. But we worked through the problem. Everybody pitched in while he was gone. Something always happened to save him. When he came back, the crisis was solved, and he had the audacity to say, "See, I told you everything would be all right." He did nothing. Then his father died. His mother had already passed away, and left him a house that was free and clear. So that took care of him for the next few years. I hate that. They never have to answer for any of their irresponsibility. But they're so charming. Everybody lets them get away with it. You know what I mean? Do you know some yellows? See, who rises to the corporate leadership? The reds and the blues, right? The yellows don't get there. They won't pay the price. Besides that, they never turn in the reports. You can't count on these people. They're always gone. It's too much trouble. It's too hard. They're not willing to pay the price. So if you have a yellow kid, you put what you want before what they want. And when you say things like this, "As soon as the lawn's mowed, we're all going to the beach." And they will say, "Hey, it's sunny now. Let's go now, and when we come back, I'll mow the lawn." And guess what you say? "Ha ha ha." Now, would the blue do it? The blue really would. You got your word? Absolutely. That kid would come back and do it. You know, they would really do it if they're healthy blue. Because their word is their bond, isn't it? Do you understand? Okay, so are you getting an idea for the white and the yellows now, the different personalities? The white, if they wanted to, they might say they would. But if they didn't want to, rather than confront you, they'd say, "Okay." Then you'd come home and depend on them. They don't know what's going on sometimes. They look confused. Now, she's insulted, but that's the truth. They are confused, and you got to be kind to them. They accept everybody. Everybody loves them. Okay? How can you be kind to them? I know. But they accept everybody. You can be a raging red. She said, "Oh, I see. Okay, that's okay. Fine. You know, I see." Never get upset. And that's the way it goes. Let me talk to you about driving on the freeway. How do you think they drive? The red is in the fast lane, using biblical terms, not in a biblical way. Okay, get out of the way, you blankety blank people, park it. And he's going probably single in the carpool lane, probably, driving by himself, yelling at people, get out of the road, you idiots, park it, learn how to drive. And he's out there fighting the world. Are they fighting the world? They're fighting the world all the time. When they start to, is he speeding? Yep, he's speeding. Some dumb cop gave me a ticket coming back. The red attitude, what is it? If I get a ticket, what happens? It's some dumb police officer. Everybody else was passing me, and they gave me a ticket. I was 2 miles over the speed limit, plus 20. You know, but who's going to... It was all safe. I'm in perfect control. Why would anybody give me a ticket? I'm a perfectly good driver. Okay, the blue, when he starts to get up to the 53 and 54, this blue woman, what happens? The old conscience kicks in. Oh, you better not do that. That's wrong. That's not right. Are they real moral? Yeah. The white, he's probably in the fast lane, driving along, 5 miles less than the... Doesn't know what's happened. People are going by him, upset, mad, waving at him. And what they're doing is does he know what's happening? Is he upset? Is he upset? No, he's going along, talking. The yellow are in their sports car or something, cutting in and out, cutting in and out. And as long as they got somebody to talk, they don't know what's going on either. They go right past their exit. They're talking and fun. All they're into is fun. Now, which is good? The yellow say, which is good. I am very surprised. Now, who is it that argues with me in this class when it comes to the reds? The blues are hurt. They'll get depressed and go home and feel guilty. Oh, I've ruined my children. And they feel terrible. The reds say, I'll go home and kill that sucker. Now I know how to do it. The reds interpret all this in the way of power. Now I know. Now I know. I can go home and I can do this and put those charts up. And I'll have absolute control over these people. And I'll raise my kid. And the blue, what do? Like I say, they're very, very, very guilty. I've been doing it wrong all my life. And they'll be depressed. And if it's two blues married, me too. Me too. That's terrible. What are we going to do? And the yellows, I'm surprised there's any here. Usually, the yellows aren't here. They're off doing something else. This is no fun. This is heavy. They're not here. So mostly, very few. How many yellows are here? Yeah. How many blues are here to learn how to do this right? How many reds are here to have greater power? How many whites are here because your wife drugged you? Yes. Okay. Not very many. Is that true? Is that true? The reds are what? They're into power. The blues want to be understood. They want these children to love them. The red, he doesn't care. As long as you got that room clean. Okay, you will do it this way. And this is the way it's supposed to be. Okay. The reds, let's look at them. They're logical. They're confident. They're practical. They're decisive. A red can make a decision just like that. They've already got it figured out. Now, it might be wrong. But usually it's a very good decision. They have the confidence in themselves to make a decision. All right, so we're powerful, responsible, and determined. Very decisive. Can a white make a decision? No. And you'll work with them and labor with them, and they finally make the decision. And you go get a drink of water and come back, and what? They've lost it again. They're all confused again. They just get so confused. The whites never are able to collect enough data to get the decision. Is that true? It's terrible. It's terrible. And these people will drive you crazy. The yellow, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. That's okay. Whatever you want to do. We don't need to worry about that. In fact, let's not even do it. If there's some decision. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, the blue is loyal. The blue is reliable. The blue is sincere. Okay? The blue is creative, respectful, disciplined, and sensitive. Who are our really most righteous people? Blue. Okay? Now what happens is we've got a red here. The red is loyal to the system. He will accomplish the mission, kill you, accomplish the mission, whatever it is, right? The blue is more concerned about people. Now some people are part red and part blue. They have an intra-personality conflict. They're worried about people, but they got to get the job done. So they get the job done and they murder you, and then they feel bad afterwards, okay? And that's what happens to them. Do you notice that? Some of you got the blue-red combination. Okay, on the whites now. The whites need to, what they are is independent, they're diplomatic, they're easygoing, they're tolerant, they're inventive, they're kind, and they're patient. Oh, are they patient? But they can never make a decision, and really it will drive you nuts. These people will drive you. You cannot get them to make a decision. Well, sometimes you just give them a time limit and then you make the decision. But don't make a big power thing out of it. They'll sit there for a half an hour and look at them all and go down the road. And then they'll get one and buy it and then say, I made a mistake as soon as they get outside the door. You know? I shouldn't have done that. And a white is terrible. Okay. The yellow are charismatic. They're eager, they're happy, they're fun, they're outgoing, they're trusting, they're optimistic. They're fun people. Now, reds and blues marry because they respect the power and the integrity and the decisiveness and the get-it-doneness of each other. But they're basically polarized in their motivation. Can you see how that can cause intramarital conflicts? Where we've got the power-oriented, non-emotional, logical thinker versus the relationship, intimacy-oriented, valued person. Does that make sense? The loyal person. If the red marries a red, my recommendation is that you adopt out the children. Okay, if a red marries a red, I've seen a couple good marriages, and they settle down. Can you see how it can be Armageddon? Whenever a red is in a relationship, what is the basic orientation of that red? He's always sensitive to the power structure and who's in power and who's controlling. Now, when two reds marry, if they're smart, they'll get together and they'll figure it out. This is my area, this is your area. You keep your hands off my stuff. You keep your hands off my stuff. And they get a compromise, a truce, and they can be very powerful. But where do the kids go for intimacy? Grandma. Hopefully there's a grandma. Sometimes there's a red grandma. Okay, because that's how those other kids got rid. What we have then is we have all kinds of marriages that can happen. The most common are the red-blue, but we also have a natural complementary blend between the two logical ones, the red and the white, can marry. Because me Tarzan, you Jane. And that's the way it works. And this is what happens. This white is willing to go along with everything. They're non-confrontal. You guys date a white girl, and you go over there and you say, what would you like to do? Oh, whatever. Well, there's 3 movies playing. There's this one, there's this one, there's this one. Which one would you like to see? Oh, whatever you want. You know, pretty soon, well, what would you like? I want to do what you want. See, I love you. I'd like to make a big point here. What would you like to do? Well, whatever you'd like to do. You know, I'd like some honest feedback. Oh, it is. I don't care. And so this guy runs around doing everything, conquering everything, and this person goes along with it. Or this woman. Do you think lots of red women would marry a white man? Because they want somebody that would do what they tell them to do. Is that true? I mean, the red man would marry the white woman? That's a very complementary marriage. Do you think the whites and the yellows marry very much? Do you think 2 yellows would marry? Somehow they sense, whoa, better be careful here. Who would ever pay the bills? These two yellow married. And what happened? They got married, they loved each other, everything was wonderful, whoa! And they got in the thing and took off on their honeymoon. And one of them says, oh, where are we going? And the other one says, well, I thought you were going to decide what we were going to do. No, did you make the reservations up here? No, did you? And they both laughed. And they went on. They had nothing. Nobody did anything. And the whites are like this too. Now, is this insulting? We're not insulting anybody, are we? If we make this kind of fun, I hope that you will take home some very valuable stuff. What we're saying is, what's the basic underlying fact? People are very, very different. You buy this? The orientation is different. Their value system is different. And because they're different, they act differently. They value different things. I'm really, really into production. Now, I am here, and you're going to learn this. You understand where my point of view is? Where would blue be? Have you got it? Do you understand? You know, and really into this, I said, oh, you don't understand? Oh, golly, see me after class. The red can say, this is it. Now, if you don't agree with me, does it hurt me? No. I'm going to lay it out there. You're going to take a look at it. What's good for you, you're going to accept. And if you disagree with me, is that okay? It's okay. You don't have to like this. It's all right. Now, the blue is going to take it on themselves to what? Normally, to be very concerned. See me after class. Just hang around here. You really don't understand. Oh, I feel bad about that. You don't, oh, did I offend you? Oh, I'm sorry if I offended you. Is that what the blues thinking about? And then if 3 or 4 people disagree and get upset, they go home and they feel guilty. Oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. Oh, this is terrible. What am I going to do? Can you see how the blues can get into this?